So, recently, I had a beautiful baby girl with my husband. She's my pride and joy. I love her more than I love myself. But, taking care of her has taken its toll on me. My husband promised the work would be 50-50 when we agreed we wanted children, but I don't feel that's being reflected by his actions this past month. It's gotten to the point where I can't even ask him to wash her up without him saying something along the lines of, "My paternity leave is short. I want to make the most of it by relaxing a bit. I'll help you out later." And I get it. His paternity leave is only 6 weeks while mine is 16 weeks, but my nether regions hurt like a puss for a better part of 2 weeks after the birth, and all he could do for me was occasionally burp her. Now, my baby girl has gotten to a phase where she doesn't want to sleep. She'll sleep for an hour, but then she's up and back to crying, and I have to get up and try to soothe her. It's been happening for a week now, and I've gotten so little sleep that I'm nodding off while eating or doing the laundry and stuff. Saturday was the month anniversary of my daughter's birth, so I decided to gather both sides of the family to meet her. They hadn't met her prior because A, I wanted to rest as much as I could, and B, I heard somewhere that you shouldn't be taking babies out and about when they're fresh out the womb, because they're more prone to illness then. So we had this gathering at my mother's house, and all was well. Everyone was cooing over our baby. There was food, people were catching up or meeting for the first time. It was nice. But I had gotten about 3 hours, a generous estimate of sleep in total the past week, and I was starting to feel the effects of it. I was feeling lightheaded and clammy, but I didn't want to make a scene, so I tried to go to a bedroom to lie down. I didn't take 10 steps before my vision completely blacked out. I wasn't down for long, but I had fallen over, which drew some attention. I explained to everyone who was concerned that I was fine and that I was just not getting enough sleep, and I could see my husband visibly frown at that. They gave me some of the dessert my aunt made to get my sugar up, and the party continued. I felt embarrassed about the whole thing, especially since everyone was still looking over me till we left, but it's whatever. What bothered me was my husband's reaction. When we got home, he started going off on me about how I made him look bad and like he wasn't taking care of me. I was confused on how the hell me passing out made him look bad. But he refused to explain himself and had a pity party for himself in the kitchen. I was still feeling bad, so I decided to leave him alone and just go to sleep. But he seems to have taken that as a sign that I don't care about his feelings. He's in my ear this morning about how I just ignored him to go to sleep last night and how I didn't even put the baby to sleep before leaving. Is he right? Am I the a-hole here? Update. So, I've tried talking with him, but he's been ignoring me and the baby the last 3 hours. I'd usually wait longer, but I'm just too tired to deal with this right now. You guys were right. I do need help with this. And he's made it very clear he's not ready to help me yet, so I'm just going to go to my mom's place. I'm currently packing. I'm so done, top. Comment somebody said, not the a-hole, and I can't call your husband the names I want to, because my comment will be deleted. Paternity leave isn't a time to relax. It's a time you're helping raise the baby and spending time together as a family. Clearly, he is not doing either of these things. As A, you'd be better rested, and B, he'd have noticed you're exhausted. You passing out made him look bad because it was clear to everyone that you're being left to raise your baby alone. It's clearly not a partnership, and the a-hole you're married to is turning it onto you to shift responsibility and blame. You need to seriously reconsider the relationship's future and bring this up with him, as it all comes down to him and his behavior. If he gets his crap together, then things will be much better. But if he doesn't, you and your daughter deserve so much better. Somebody said, he doesn't know what paternity leave is and doesn't really want to take care of his family. Sadly, you can't seem to shake that loser. Another commenter said, this deadbeat of a father and husband is using his 6 weeks to laze around instead of using it taking care of his wife and child. You said you love your baby more than yourself. Would you want to let her grow up and think that it's normal for wives to push themselves while they're sleepless and in pain until they faint, and husbands to berate them instead of worrying and taking care of them? Tell your parents that your husband doesn't help you at all and blames you for making him look bad. You know what else makes him look bad? Being a deadbeat father and partner. Update, 1 day later. Hi all, your comments were really helpful, so thank you. Yesterday, before I could Uber to my mom's house, my sister offered to help me, so I'm staying with her instead. She's taking the Parent-Teacher Association to help me out with my girl, which I'm very grateful for. She also gave me sleep medicine that knocked me out for an hour. I'm not sure if that was a good idea or not, but I slept long and well, so I don't care. I woke up a few hours ago to tons, and I mean tons, of messages from my husband. Like, the little app icon had more than 99 on it. Here are some of the things he said. You can't just up and freaking leave with my baby. Come back now, please. Let's talk about it. You're actually so freaking immature. What is wrong with you? We have one argument, and you damn pretend like I've been beating you. Why the hell did you leave? We can work this out like adults. Yet, you're choosing to be difficult, like a little puss. Please just come back. We will talk and sort this out, and we can go back to being happy. So come back. I miss my baby girl. You can't just take her away. What if I call the police for kidnapping? Would that teach you what you're doing is wrong? I would screenshot, but it says this community does not allow attachments, so I can't. And I know it's a bit weird to tell y'all what he's been texting me, but I'm mad right now, and this feels therapeutic, lol. I already sent the screenshots to his mom though. As for my baby, I have an appointment to a pediatrician for Wednesday, but for now she's on formula since my breast milk quality isn't the best for understandable reasons. My sister said she wasn't as fussy as I described, so I really think the problem is with my milk. That, or my sister wanted to make me feel better for sleeping. Who knows? I'll wait for the doctor's opinion. I'm not feeling 100%, but I feel a whole lot better than before. Thank you to everyone who showed concern. I think this will be the last update, since I want to not think too much about my husband. Top comments. Somebody said, I am so glad you left and got some help and rest. You definitely need and deserve it. I still can't get over your husband's mental gymnastics here. He hasn't been a parent, hasn't helped you at all, and hasn't really spent any time caring for his daughter, and only cares about what other people besides you think, but misses his baby girl and wants you to come back so we can go back to being happy. Sounds like the only person who was happy was him. He got a 6-week vacation and didn't have to lift a finger. Let me guess, you were doing all the cooking and cleaning on top of caring for the baby. From what he is texting you, he thinks he did nothing wrong. He is being deliberately obtuse. To add insult to injury, he calls you a puss and threatens you with the cops. Lovely. He is a real peach. I really want to know what his mom has to say. Does she know he was mad at you for passing out a commenter? Because it isn't about love. It is about control and image. Please keep strong. You have done a fabulous job doing what you need to for you and the baby. Best wishes, someone said. To be clear, kidnapping is not involved. Until a custody agreement is submitted to the court, either married parent is legally permitted to take their child for any reason. Last update, 4 days later. For all of you who wanted to know what his mother's reaction was, she yelled at him, and he made that my problem. The things he's messaged me are vile. And even though Mael was mad at him and knows what he's been saying to me, she still insisted that I go visit him face to face so we can work things out. I don't really blame her. He's her son, of course she'd still want to help him, but still, with all the ways he's been threatening me and cussing me out, I really didn't want to see him, but I decided to go. Mostly because I needed the stuff that I left at our house. I went with my sister for safety, obviously. We got there, and he played with our baby. He offered to feed her. She wasn't hungry, just acting completely different from the man texting me about how much of a heartless puss I am. I didn't really feel comfortable having him near me or the baby with how violent his texts were, but she's still his baby. I don't think the courts would favor him after I show his texts, but I thought I should rather be safe and allow him some form of contact before going to court. This was a mistake. At the end of the visit, I decided I should go pack my stuff, since that was one of the only reasons I agreed to come. But I didn't feel comfortable not being there while he had my baby. Yeah, my sister was there, and I trust her, but I'd rather watch her with my own eyes. So my sister went upstairs to pack for me. As soon as she was gone, he started talking about, see, I'm good now, I can take care of her, and other stuff, but that wasn't the problem. Even if he became super dad, I wouldn't be able to see him the same. Not after all those messages he sent me. I told him that, and he got pissed at me. I was getting worried since my daughter was still in his arms, so I tried to de-escalate his feelings. It didn't work, and he started yelling at me for being heartless and stubborn and whatnot. I wasn't really focused on what he was saying. I was focused on my baby. I tried to reach out for her, and he shoved me hard enough to fall back. My sister came down and tried to help, but he shoved her away too and ran to the guest room and locked himself and my baby in there. He refused to come out unless my sister left, and I stayed behind. I can't tell y'all how scary it is to not know what's happening to your child. It took officers almost 30 minutes to get him out, which pissed me off. Like, I know they were probably trying to assess the danger or whatever, but I just wanted my baby. In that 30-minute window, he could have shaken her or thrown her out the window or something, and they were there asking him to come out like he was a child and not break down the door. She was fine, though, so I can't be too mad. They didn't arrest him, since no harm was done, even though my sister and I have bruises to prove otherwise. But they held him outside while I packed my stuff. It actually bothers me that they didn't at least detain him, but there's not much I can do about it now. I don't think I'm going to go near him again. Not with my baby. I'm thinking of going to apply for that emergency custody thing y'all were talking about. This happened on Wednesday, and I'm still shaken. It's really depressing, for a lack of better word, seeing how much he's changed. I really loved him, and I felt he loved me too. How he's acting is crushing me. I feel deflated. My baby girl and my sister are really the only things keeping me going right now. I'm sorry for the wall of text. It's just that texting this all out helps me feel better. But I don't think I want to continue updating. Just know that we're splitting up. Thank you all for your support. Extra. After visiting the doctor, I've decided to just skip the hassle and formula feed. She seems happier with formulas anyways. Top. Comments. Somebody said, "Oh my ghost, document everything. Take pictures of the bruises. Go see a doctor and tell the doctor you just need things documented to protect yourself and your baby. File a police report for assault, and both you and your sister write detailed statements of everything that happened. Then apply for emergency custody. Please update us at least once more so we know you are safe and you have your baby girl full time." Another commenter, "Good grief, you must have been absolutely terrified. I'm so glad you're all okay." I understand why the police officers decided not to break the door down and rush him. They wouldn't have wanted to risk him escalating and harming the baby. Trying to talk him down, make him feel heard, was the sensible thing to do. I do think he should have been arrested for the assaults upon you and your sister, though. Emergency custody and a restraining order sounds very necessary in this situation. I'm so sorry for everything you're going through. I'm 32 and met Jake 10 years ago at a New Year Eve party. My coworker invited me, and Jake was friends with her husband. He was insanely handsome, so I made the first move. He was nice, but didn't seem all that interested. Later, I asked my coworker to set us up, but Jake said no because he thought I was too young for him. I didn't give up and ended up texting him directly, convincing him to go on a dinner date with me. He finally agreed, and we hit it off. He was super respectful, and we had a lot in common. A year later, we moved in together. After I graduated from university, he helped me get my first job, and we started traveling and even bought our own place. Being with Jake felt like a dream. He always put me first, made me feel special, was so thoughtful, and helped out a lot around the house. When I told him I was pregnant and said I'd terminate if he wasn't ready, he pulled out a ring he'd already bought and proposed on the spot. He said he wanted to be with me forever. Everything was amazing until Jake got an email from his ex out of the blue. Turns out he has a 12-year-old daughter he didn't know about. His ex never told him she was pregnant and moved away to be closer to her family. Now she's getting married, but her fiancé doesn't get along with Jake's daughter, so she wanted her to come live with us. Jake went to pick her up from the airport, and we ended up giving her the baby's room. The nursery I was decorating, I said it was fine. The baby could stay in our room for now. When I showed her the room, she looked at me and said, "Great, a crying baby soon, huh? Don't expect me to babysit." I just told her, "Don't worry, I wasn't planning to." She hates me. Anytime I try to talk to her, she either ignores me or tells me not to. So, I've stopped trying. Jake has been bending over backward to connect with her, taking her shopping or to games, but she doesn't want to hear anything about the baby. If she catches me showing Jake an ultrasound picture, she gets upset. Jake even asked me not to bring up baby stuff around her. If I try to join them on their outings, she gets mad again. Jake keeps telling me to be patient and that she's adjusting, but I'm starting to feel like an outsider. Jake is no longer affectionate to me. Maybe he is exhausted or doesn't want to upset her either way. I don't even get a hug or a simple kiss anymore. The baby's due soon, and honestly, I'm terrified. It feels like my baby won't even be allowed to cry because she might get upset. On Christmas, I got her AirPods, and when she opened them, she said nothing. At least she said thanks for the watch Jake gave her. Would I be the asshole if I left Jake and stayed with my parents? I love him so much, and I get that he's in a tough spot, but I feel so unloved. I'm scared it's going to get worse once the baby is here. Added later, someone DM'd me that maybe Jake knew about this kid all these years and was in touch with X and didn't tell you. That's why he is confident it's his kid. I don't know, he seemed very surprised. I'm going to clear this up tonight. Relevant comments, somebody said, "Okay, I'm going, not the a-hole. If you sit down and talk to him, you all need to be in individual and family therapy. That's something that needs to be non-negotiable." That kiddo sounds like a brat, but she has a very valid reason. It's a huge deal that her mom just dumped her on a parent she never knew, and that she also has a sibling coming with the parent she just met. Throw in the age she's at, and that's a recipe for so many issues. Your feelings are really valid, but you need to at least do certain things before divorce. Talk to Jake, go to therapy, establish boundaries, and also what you need to have happen with this baby. You also are a prime candidate for postpartum depression because of this much stress, hun. Take care of yourself. Original poster replied, "Well, Jake mentions all the reasons you mentioned too, and asks me to be patient because his daughter is going to went through a lot and asks me for empathy. That's why I feel like an asshole," somebody said, "not the a-hole." This is just a terrible situation. Jake's daughter was literally just kicked out of her home and told to go live with strangers. So I feel for her, but that doesn't mean that Jake should be throwing you and your child under the bus either. A week with your folks might be the answer to reset the situation. I'd approach it as a vacation or a break to let the new kid settle down. I'm assuming you've communicated how you are feeling. I'd also make sure that family counseling is involved. Otherwise, it will just be worse. The other thing bothering me here is that no other family from her mother's side stood up for this girl. She was just kicked out to go live with strangers? Sounds like some court stuff got skipped, or maybe was left out. I posted yesterday, then deleted my account because I was so upset and emotional. But I just wanted to say thank you to the person who directly messaged me and said Jake probably already knew about the baby and was just acting surprised. Spot on. He did know about his daughter before meeting me. His name is even on the birth certificate, and he's been paying child support this whole time. Turns out, he cheated on the mom while she was pregnant, and that's why she left him. All these years, he straight up lied to me. The whole nice guy act, total facade. He's a liar and an absentee father. He's apologized a million times, but I'm done. Done. He lied to me for years and acted like, "Oh my ghost, I have a long-lost daughter." Nah, he is making all the excuses in the book to justify his lies. I don't care. I'm done. I'm staying at my parents' house now, and I'm furious. Somebody said, "Oh my God, wow. I'm so happy you know the truth and can get away from this guy. This guy was such a snake." I'm happy to hear you have a supportive mother and have a safe place to stay. Be gentle with yourself. You have been through a huge shock. Sending cyber warmth if you want some rentum. When you negotiate custody, please make sure that you don't give this asshole overnight or unsupervised visits if you can stop it. His surprise, not surprised daughter sounds unhinged and dangerous, along with the asshole's track record when it comes to his children and lying to you for over 10 years? Hell no. I would ask your lawyer to make any discussion about custody pivotal upon a thorough psychological evaluation of his daughter. I'm so bloody angry and sorry for what this asshole, his EX, and his spoiled or traumatized, not sure which yet child have put you through. The good news, if there's any, is that he's likely to leave you and your child alone, just like he abandoned his first child. They rarely change their spots, as they say, and he's going to have his hands full with a combative teenager. He's a complete jerk, but he's also a selfish, lying jerk who won't be able to rely on his volatile daughter, so I think it's likely that he'll walk away again. Just make sure you only speak through recorded apps or screenshot every text message or other social media exchange. Create a journal with the sequenced timeline of your relationship and the lies he told you and others. Reddit has a useful tool called the Few Binder that can help you gather all the evidence you may need to fight custody and probably even your divorce. Purchase and install a security system with video recordings. Document, 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 and save everything. Above all, greatest of luck, best wishes, and many blessings for you and your baby. Please keep us updated.